Today I'll be making a cucumber, apple, lime sorbet. We went to a cider place yesterday and one of the ciders was, it wasn't a sorbet, but it had those flavors and it was really good. And I thought being so hot, it would be a nice refreshing treat that wasn't too high calorie, especially since I'm going to be using monk fruit sweetener instead of regular sugar. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of basil because I thought it would taste good and I had this basil plant sitting around and I just wanted to try it, and I saw some other people online had used basil in theirs as well. So I'm going to start by making a simple syrup, but I'm going to be doing it with monk fruit sweetener. So to make it simple, I brought a cup of water to a boil. I used the microwave because it was easier. And now I'm going to add a cup of the monk fruit sweetener into that, and I'm just going to let it dissolve. The monk fruit sweetener seems to do a lot better when it's cooked for me. And since I'm not cooking the fruit today, I'm just going to set that aside. And actually, I'm probably going to stir it before I set it aside to get that dissolving. And while that's dissolving, I'll go to my next step, which is to start by cutting my limes. So I'm going to take, I wish I had more limes. I'm using 2 today because that's all I have. I would use as many limes as possible, depending on how much juice are in them. So I'm just going to cut this. I'm going to squeeze this into a container. I'm using this. You can use whatever you want. Oops. And after I squeeze all the juice out, I'm just going to drop it in because I'm going to mash it to get the flavor of the skin in the juice. I'm going to mash this together with the peels of the cucumber and the peels of the apple, and then I'm going to strain it. I've got my peels of my apple and my cucumber, in addition to my lime juice and the whole limes that I put in, cut up limes. And I'm just going to mash this down. What I'm trying to do is get the flavor from the skins and the peels and get it all macerated up, and then I'm going to strain it into my other container, into my creamy container, so that it'll get the flavor, but I won't have the peels in there. I ended up using about 2 apples. I peeled them and chopped them up, and about maybe 1/3 of this big cucumber, and that was peeled as well. I put that in the container with the simple syrup, and now I'm going to blend it up. Now that I've blended this up, it's nice and frothy. I tasted it. It tastes good. I think the sweetness level it's a little bit sweet, but remember I'm going to be adding my lime juice and the flavorings of the peel, so I think that'll help balance it out. I actually forgot to put my basil in. I have an option of either putting it into the blended or just mashing it with the lime. I think I want a real light basil taste. I don't want it really strong. So I'm just going to take about 4 of these leaves and mash it up with the lime, get that flavor in there, and then I'll be ready to strain it. Okay, so to strain it, you can use any kind of strainer. I'm going to strain it directly into my creamy cup. A little bit, the peel came out, so I'll take that out. And now I'm ready to add this to my creamy cup, pint. And that's about perfect. Stir this up. And taste. I think it tastes really good, so now I'm ready to freeze it for at least 24 hours. It's been over 24 hours, so I'm ready to spin this on the sorbet setting. After running this through on respin once and then mix in again, it's ready now. And just to show you, sometimes it doesn't look quite ready. You'll see little crumblies, but then you take the side of a spoon and you mash it down, and it mashes like it's nice and creamy and perfect, so you know it's ready. So now I'm ready to scoop this up and taste it. I'm going to use a little melon baller today because I don't really want a lot of ice cream. I just want a little taste. This is perfect too if you're just giving samples to friends and they don't want a whole scoop. These little melon ballers are great. So this is what it looks like. It's got a nice light green color and the texture is perfect. Feels nice and smooth. I think it's delicious. It's perfect for summertime, during the day, when it's hot and you just want a little refresher. It's extremely low calorie because I used monk fruit sweetener, and basically it's just the apples and the cucumber and a little bit of basil, so it's very low calorie and delicious.